I have just a few thoughts. Do I think the MCU is in trouble? Absolutely not. Do I think it's slipping into, I don't want to say mediocrity, but yes. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. And I was trying to figure out why. And I think for me personally, I'm just not as excited as I used to be. It's not really anything to do with the quality of the movies, which have dipped. I thought Thor 4 was pretty bad, personally. But, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I think I'll just chronicle, I guess, my experience with the MCU, just to give a little explanation as to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. My first memory of the MCU, I must have seen Iron Man at some point, the original one, because the first thing I remember, and this is all thanks to Facebook memories, is the first MCU movie I saw in theaters was Iron Man 2, which not a great start, but I do remember really liking it. I don't know why I liked it, but it was just, it was a good follow-up to Iron Man, which was fantastic. I think that is what got me on my journey. And I think, honestly, the MCU is how I was able to develop my enjoyment of films. Whether or not you think the MCU is quality film is your own opinion. But it definitely helped me realize how much I loved movies. That much is true. Because I just remember some of my best memories as a kid was going over to my grandpa's house. My dad was living there at the time, so I was there a lot. But I just remember there was one day, for some reason, I think it must have been summer break. I decided to go there for a couple days, and there was a video store just like right down the street. We loved that video store. It was great. But I just remember, oh. Nope, I'm remembering this completely wrong. That video store was great. That's a story for another time. But this was around the time of Redbox. That video store was long gone. I had decided, this was like a couple months before the original Avengers movie was coming out. I Redboxed every single MCU movie, because up to that point, I had only seen the first two Iron Man movies. And obviously, you can't go into the Avengers movie having not seen Thor and Captain America, the first Avenger. So I sat there and watched every single one leading up to the movies, except for The Incredible Hulk. I still haven't seen that movie. I don't think I ever will watch that movie. That's not true. I probably will, but it's fine. Anyway, I really enjoyed my experience going through that. But then the Avengers came out. And when I tell you, I loved that movie. I remember that experience thinking, I remember the opening sequence was all about Nick Fury with the Tesseract, and Loki, I think, was invading. I don't remember exactly, but I was like, I don't really understand what I'm watching, but I know I recognize the Tesseract. This is interesting. And then the first time Thor and Iron Man fought, I was like, this is awesome. This is such a good movie. They really set this up very well. And that's, I think, what the MCU did very well early on, was building upon these characters so that when we finally saw them interact, it was great. They already had the established characters. We knew exactly how they would interact, and it gave us just that. It was great. And I think the next movie that really solidified my love for the MCU was Guardians of the Galaxy. I know a lot of people say that that's where they really branched out and became weird. And it's true, that is what happened. But I don't know, everything with that movie just clicked with me. It was funny when it needed to be. It was dramatic when it needed to be. And barring your opinions on Chris Pratt, I'm starting to lose my enjoyment of him, honestly. I'm really hoping the Super Mario Bros. Movie is good, but okay, that's another thing for another day. But I thought he was great in the role as Star-Lord. Bradley Cooper as Rocket was awesome. Vin Diesel, you can't even really tell it's him, but that was great. Zoe Saldana, the cast was stacked. Not even just for the main characters, but for all of the other side characters. John C. Reilly was in it. He was good. Normally he's kind of annoying, but they used him great. And everything was just funny. It was good. That's when I realized, wait a second, I think I really love these movies. And that was also where I discovered James Gunn, which I would love to talk about at another time. Some of his movies are just amazing. But yeah, that is definitely where I realized, okay, yep, I'm an MCU guy. These are good. And then the height of my excitement, though, was the build-up to Infinity War. Because this was all around the time when I was discovering my love for not just the MCU, but for film and movies in general. This was when MoviePass was around. For those of you who don't know, MoviePass was the plan where you paid $10 a month and they let you see any movie any day for free. So you paid that $10 after you saw one movie. You got your money's worth. I must have seen, I think I did the math. I saw about $700 worth of movies and paid $120 over the course of a year. MoviePass is a story I would love to get into another time, but let's just say Infinity War was the straw that broke the camel's back with MoviePass. Everyone, and I mean everyone, knew that this was just an event. Whether or not you liked the MCU, you knew about it. You were sick of hearing about it. And let me tell you, Infinity War was not a good experience for me. The movie was great, but that was the weekend that me, my brother, and sister went to Minnesota just on a random trip to go to the Mall of America. And I was like, well, I need to see this movie, and I will do what I can. So I carved out time on that Friday night to take my brother's car, with permission, of course. I didn't just steal his car, and go find a theater. And I found a theater. Let me tell you, the sound quality of the movie was so bad. I mean, you could still hear things, but it was so quiet, and it literally sounded like it was coming out of an iPhone for everyone. It was like one speaker just somewhere hidden away in the back. But you know what? That did not deter my enjoyment of the movie. Infinity War was fantastic. It was just well scripted, well acted, not too long, not too short. And you know what? If you know the comics, you knew that was how it was going to end. I've never read the comics exactly, but I did my research. I knew what to expect. And you know, that's another thing. Everyone was like, well, I hated the way this movie ended because we all know they're coming back. Well, duh. Of course they're coming back. Just enjoy the movie for what it is. And there we go. And we had to wait another year for Endgame. And boy, oh boy, was that wait long. Was it worth it? Yes, it was absolutely worth it. Endgame, well, not as good as Infinity War as a movie, I think. I think Infinity War is a better movie. Endgame was a more exciting and fun event. That theater experience was probably my favorite experience of all time. 10 years leading up to it, and the way the audience erupted like 8 times, not 8 times, it was like twice, but it was great to just be a part of that. There's nothing better than a movie theater experience like that. And that's coming from the guy who loves to go see movies alone. For the most part, I would much rather just go to the movies alone. Whether or not that's sad, that's a whole other conversation. But when I tell you, like, the feelings inside of this 10-year journey was great. And I was a part of it for 9 years of it. Should that have been where the MCU ended? Absolutely not. And I'm here to say that, well, I don't think it will ever be as good. That is a realization I've been coming to for the last couple of months. It's still fine. I think we're in a transition period. Thor 4 was not great. Doctor Strange 2 didn't hit my expectations, but it was okay. I think they're hitting their stride with the TV shows. Maybe. I haven't even watched all of them. If I'm being completely honest. But that's the thing though. You don't have to watch it all. I hope. I hope this doesn't become like a DC show, like the Arrowverse. I stopped watching those because they had important plot points happening in crossover shows of shows I wasn't watching. So as long as it doesn't get to that, it'll be fine. That's my hope. Also, yeah, no, that's my hope. I hope I learn how to cut this stuff out. But yeah, I think because WandaVision, I thought WandaVision was great. Moon Knight was the most recent one I actually finished. Was fantastic. Oscar Isaac, he's a great actor. He portrayed that role very well. It was a short, succinct story. Should have been a movie, maybe. That's an argument I hear a lot of. Maybe some of these 6-episode series should just be movies, because I feel like some of them you are just kind of like wasting time, I guess. But you know what? That's fine. Like, just you're allowed to have your opinion, but just give it a chance. Eternals was bad though. That was actually one of the worst movies I saw last year. It was frightening at how bad it was. All right, so maybe the MCU is a little bit of trouble. But I don't know. They released their plans for the next 3-4 years, and it's not like they don't have that planned out. So that's where I'm going to have a little bit of faith, because they gave us 10 years of great material. So you know what? We're going to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever on Friday. Hopefully that's the start of something new and great. Even though I'm pretty sure I think Wakanda Forever is the end of Phase 4, which is crazy to think about because I feel like Phase 4 was so short. But when you think about it, we got like 4 or 5 movies and like 10 plus TV shows. We are not starving for content from the MCU anymore. Quality be damned. There was a phrase from 10 years ago when I was in college. Quantity drives quality. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that wholeheartedly, but like you dig around, you're going to find something you like. And that's kind of my way of thinking about it. Yeah, so just give it a chance. Don't worry too much and just kind of enjoy it. And if you drop off, that's fine. It's fine. It's okay if you drop off. You don't have to keep watching. But yeah, keep watching me though, because this is fun. Those were just a few thoughts. What are yours? Thanks. Bye.